This video is something of a coda to the other videos I've been creating as part of my Royal Philharmonic Society Enterprise Fund Award. During the lockdowns of 2020, 2021 and all the loss of work, one of the things I started doing just to keep myself sane was a fortnightly series of videos in which I took an instrument from my collection and chose an appropriate piece of repertoire. This was always slightly dictated by the level of the piano part because I was having to rely on myself as the pianist. And in these videos, which were very homespun, I explored the instruments and the repertoire, performing these pieces and also talking about them as case studies, explaining why I'd made various decisions and a bit about the background to the instruments and pieces. Applying for the fund allowed me to think about how I could take a lot of the skills I'd learnt, basic audio editing, video editing, but also the sort of methodology of finding appropriate instruments and appropriate repertoire. But by getting this funding, it meant I could be much more adventurous and was able to turn my attention to some real mainstream pieces in the repertoire, the sort of pieces that serious students of the instruments, music college, university students and professional players will find as the sort of pieces we keep on including in recitals, auditions, etc. And so I wanted to take the approach I'd been using during the pandemic, during the lockdowns, and do something more adventurous. And this is what the funding allowed me to do. But I think more importantly than that, it was also being able to tap into a network of other musicians and be inspired and be encouraged by seeing how colleagues from all sorts of different walks of musical life had used the time to keep themselves going and to start creating maybe new avenues. I'm really hopeful that what I've created as part of the Enterprise Fund is going to be a resource that will be useful for not only horn players but anybody interested in the history of music throughout the world. And the great thing about creating video resources that we're going to be putting up on YouTube and on my website is that this is going to be really easily accessible. So the idea of sharing such knowledge, and also because of one of the things that I've been including in this has been a lot of the sources, be it the sources of the music, be it sources of what teachers and practitioners of the era were saying, or be it sources of inspiration, the sort of things that I look at to understand more about performance practice of these eras. It's really easy using the internet and using these videos and the accompanying notes to be able to share this information. And I'd be really delighted if other players take a lot of this information and start making their own interpretations, which could well be very different but based on the same sources. So it was a great honour to get the Enterprise Fund, and I'm just very, very grateful to the Royal Philharmonic Society and Harriet's Fund for having put this in place at a point in time when a lot of musicians were doing really extraordinary things in absolutely extraordinary circumstances. And this was a wonderful chance to take the seeds of what we're doing and grow into things that we can take post-pandemic, I hope.